Alrighty, good morning, everybody. Hello. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the stream. Welcome to the beginning of a new streaming week. Although I really would like to tell you the streaming week and what's going to happen, but I really don't know yet. My wife is supposed to get her schedule. She was supposed to get it 2 days ago. She was supposed to get it 3 days ago, and the problem persists with retail, where sometimes they just don't take it so seriously. So without her having her schedule for this coming week, I can't tell you what my day off is. I can't tell you how many days I'll be streaming here. We don't know yet. Okay? Hopefully we will know soon. She's working right now. And she's supposed to come home and know what her schedule is for the rest of the week. In addition to that, apparently, her schedule is going to change around to be a little different. From what I don't understand, she's going to be working early mornings, but only like kind of like 4 to 5 hour shifts, and then they're going to have her work more days. I don't know. It's so confusing at this point. But I guess what's supposed to happen is today she said she was going to get out around like between 11 and 12 my time, and then she was going to come home. So the thing is, she's at work right now, and she might be coming home within the next half hour to hour. And if I hear her coming home, I'm sure Jasper's going to rush out of this office and rush downstairs to see her. I'll close the door because, as I told you guys, I can't stream with the door open if there's someone else home because it's booming noise throughout the house. And Kat wouldn't be able to hear herself. All she hears is me screaming at the games, which obviously is not what I want. So, I guess we're going to see what happens. We'll see what happens here and go from there. But if she comes home during my pre-stream here, I will, I'm sure Jasper's going to run out of here to see her anyway, and I'll close the door and we'll go from there. And if she ends up working 5-6 days a week, 4 to 5 hour shifts, I guess it is what it is. Or if she ends up working, 4 days full time, because that would be like 4 days, 8-9 hour shifts. I don't know. I'm so confused. One week they had her working 4 days, and now all of a sudden I guess she's working more. I don't know. And I keep asking her, and she's like, your guess is as good as mine. They change everything, and they try to explain it to me, and they can't justify it. They just say everything's different. And everyone keeps asking for the schedule, and the schedule's never done. Oh, my God. What a place to work. It's like I keep telling you guys, that's how it is in the United States with retail. Retail, seriously, is like not taken seriously. What it is these companies don't want to hire people who are qualified for these positions. They don't want to hire someone who's actually had management experience for a management job. So instead they hire someone who just flubs it. They don't train them. They pay them like bottom dollar, as cheap as I can hire a manager for. And then they expect them to just know what the hell they're doing. And it's like, okay, so we don't train anyone. We don't hire anyone with experience, but we expect them to be able to do these jobs and be in charge of all these people. Oh, so can you blame the person? No. You blame the company, because the company's the one making the money hand over fist on the sales at the retail store, and they don't care about actually having employees that know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it's always been in retail, and I'm not just saying now. This is how it's always been. When I was in the 2000s when I worked retail, it was almost exactly the same situation. Circuit City, Best Buy, they didn't care. They just do whatever. It's like, just fly by the seat of your pants and make us money. We don't care how you do it. So then you end up with stores where all the employees don't even know what's going on. They don't have a schedule to the 2 days before. Like, for example, today's Friday, right? My wife doesn't even know what hour she's working Sunday because the schedule wasn't done. What if you have kids and you need to get them to school? What if you work 2 jobs and you need to schedule one job around the other? How are you supposed to do that exactly? This is ridiculous. But anyway, I digress. It's not just one particular store. It's literally all of retail in the United States, which is why when I tell you guys, when you hear in the American news system, the American media saying, oh, job creation is so great. Job creation is outstanding. It's amazing. So many new jobs are now in the United States. It's like, yeah, and look at what they are. Base level jobs, low pay, terrible hours, won't give you enough hours to get healthcare ever. Like, they always make sure that you're under the hours so you can't get healthcare covered by the company. Uneducated people, no training, throw you into a position, just do whatever, and they also view you as disposable. They really don't care if you like the job or not. They really don't care if you're comfortable. They just want to make money. Wow, that's the American dream, huh? And this is the thing, no, back in the day, the American dream was getting a career job somewhere where it was a job that you enjoyed, a career you wanted to build, so the job took you seriously, gave you benefits, gave you things for being there for a long time. None of that exists anymore. It's all gone. So all that being said, my friends, that's why I can't tell you what days I'm working this week. What I can tell you is I'll be here today, Friday, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. That's all I can tell you. I might literally only be here 4 days this week, and then maybe Tuesday I have to take a day off because it's the only day off that we'll both have this coming week, right? Or it could be Wednesday or Thursday again. I don't know. So all I could do is give you a tentative schedule based on, assumptions. Think about how we felt yesterday going grocery shopping. We didn't even know what to buy for meals. We don't. That's the situation we're in right now. We don't even know what to buy for food. Because we don't know what days my wife will be home, what days she won't, what days she can cook, what days she can't. So, let's talk. Let us talk. Today. It's the continuation of Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. Last time around when I played this, 3 hours, didn't make progress. Well, let me take that back. I did make progress, but I didn't hit a checkpoint. That's how hard this game is. Today, I feel I will hit the checkpoint because we found a way to pretty much consistently make it past this part where there were 2 red armors coming at me, but instead now I found a way to kind of bypass it and have at least 1, if not none. Okay? And then we get to this new lift room, and then past that there's a room with candles. But apparently if I can get past this candle room, then I've beaten it. And we get to the next checkpoint, and we can see new stuff today. I feel we will do that today. I do. Like, after last stream, I'm feeling confident. Today, we're going to get to the checkpoint, and we'll see what happens. Okay? We shall see. So that should be fun. It means a lot of deaths. It means a lot of stress. But that's the kind of game. Alright? That's the kind of game it is. So, I'm sure you guys will be doing some wagers on how I'm going to do here. Will I succeed? Will I fail? I'm sure there'll be tons of wagers on the stream today. I'm excited for that. Should be a good one. Later tonight, it's my weekly throwback Street Fighter session. Yeah, I know. You're like, what? Phil's just coming back from break, and there's a Street Fighter session? I know. It's probably the first time ever. But yeah, tonight, Street Fighter on the late stream. And again, not only will I be playing old school Street Fighter and having fun with it, but you guys will be wagering on if I'll win or lose and how many win streaks I'll have, etc. In addition, someone sent me something really cool. Someone sent me a color scheme guide for Street Fighter games. So what that means is when I'm playing a game and I'm like, oh, Jay, I wonder what colors are available for each character, depending on what button you push or wherever when you pick them. I have a guide for that now. So for Super Turbo, I now know every color based on what button you push, which is really cool because remember we were trying to guess color, like, oh man, what's the lead pencil bison and stuff like that, right? Well, now I have them all. So tonight, you can actually choose colors if you would like. Maybe what I'll do, I'm trying to think how I could implement this. Like, people could just ask, or maybe we can even have a penne point thing where people could use penne points to try to pick colors or something. I don't know. Or maybe we could do a poll. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But it's been fun because people have been asking me for different colors. Like, oh, I don't know how to do that. And now I know. I have the whole guide. I'm like, oh, cool. There's some weird colors. There is some really weird colors in Super Turbo, for sure. So anyway, yeah, that's tonight. Street Fighter fun. Tomorrow is a major stream of Call of Duty on the first stream, which I'm excited for because now, not only have I unlocked all the good attachments for the FAR 83, but people are asking me, gee, would you like to try, instead of the machete, which you've now been using a ridiculously long time, maybe it's time to retire the melee and do something different. Which I think they're right. I think what I'll do is maybe I'll try that SMG that's been unlocked. Maybe I'll switch it up instead of the machete. So, yeah, that should be interesting tomorrow. Tomorrow night, the late night stream will be I actually don't know what it's going to be. I forgot. What is the late night stream tomorrow? Is it Genshin? I think it might be Genshin Impact, actually, tomorrow night. And then on Sunday, it'll be more Divinity 2 paired with Fall Guys. And then on Monday, more Danganronpa paired with Call of Duty. Yes. And then that's as far as I want to take the week schedule-wise. Because I don't feel that I should even schedule further until I know what the schedule is, which I should hopefully know today when my wife gets home. Okay? So hopefully later today, maybe I'll be able to make the schedule a little bit longer or whatever. Okay? What I will tell you guys coming up is some good stuff. Number one, the first week of April, we'll have some extra decorations and festivities around here on the streams. For my birthday, that week, usually I set up everything. We have nice decorations, and if people contribute, I'll blow a horn and do silly stuff. It's going to be different this year because there's no love seat. Instead, it'll be different decorations behind me, and my wife and I are going to go out this week and get some stuff. So that should be exciting. In addition, that first week of April, I'm planning on doing my Challenge Run Marathon special event, during which I will be doing some kind of classic games. Right now, the three options are Classic Super Mario, which would be Super Mario Bros. 1 and the Lost Levels, or Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, or Classic Mega Man. And what it would be is I set challenges for me to do during this marathon, and you guys will wager your channel points on whether or not I could hit these challenges or not. Like, for example, can I beat the entire first world without losing a life? Right? And by the way, there will be no warps. It would be you have to play every level of a game. Okay? Stuff like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. People can wager, oh, will he do it? Will he not do it? Also, there will be a special episode of DSP Tries It during that marathon event. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I will know better once the event, happens. We're planning right now. Some people said maybe the new chicken sandwich from McDonald's. I guess people said there was something else new, too, that someone suggested that sounded really good. But I can't remember what the hell it is now. Anyway, so that's coming up the first week of April. We do have a Tier 3 subs goal in effect. As you can see, we lost a bunch of subs on my day off. Not surprising. This always happens. But if we hit a Tier 3 subs goal of 825 subs, I will wear jeans for an entire stream. Which I know sounds really stupid, but I never do. I either wear sweatpants or pajama pants, or when it gets warmer, shorts. But people have, for some odd reason, expressed interest in me wearing jeans. So if we hit the Tier 3 subs goal, I will wear jeans for an entire stream. Very exciting stuff, guys. Very exciting. I know you guys are excited for this, right? Okay. Anyway, so that's what's going on right now with all the events and everything. Oh, it sounds like my wife is home already. Jasper, that's Kat. She's home already. You hear that? That's the garage. So she got home relatively early. So Jasper, I'm sure, will be running out of here, and then I will close the door and probably turn on the fan. See what I mean? We just got used to Jasper being here on daytime streams, and now if my wife keeps coming home this early, he won't be here for daytime streams. You see? It's so confusing. It's seriously so confusing. It's hard. It's been, what, almost a month, and we're still not adjusted to a new schedule yet, because it's so weird the way that this is going on. Yes, Kat was at work at like 6 in the morning. She went in between 6 and 7 this morning, and she worked till 11, and then she came home. So what I mean, like, they said that they were going to shorten her shifts, but she may work more days, so it's so confusing. It really is. Anyway, so that's what's going on right now. A few other things. So, ladies and gentlemen, this morning, spent some time, again, sprucing up the stream animations. For those who have not been around recently, I have an update for you. New animations, although most of them are the same, but we have all the animations have returned for tips. If you tip me, any amount pretty much, $5 or more, there's a special animation, okay? And there's a few difficulties. Hold on, I'm going to turn on the fan now. Here we go. There was a few difficulties at first implementing this. There was a few things, snafus we had, and messages popping up that I didn't want to pop up, and the animations were going away too quickly before the thing was playing. I fixed it all, and I want to say shout out to the person. I don't know if they want credit or not, but there's one person who's been helping me with this behind the scenes. They kind of redid all the animations, so they'll all work now, which is really cool. So basically, yes, all these animations now are working. Any level of tip, you get a cool special animation at $4.20, $5 or more, $6.66, $10, $20, and $100. Okay? All of those now have special animations. In addition, I did spruce up the cheer animations as well as the sub animations. They should all play the proper length now because since I flipped over, I switched over from Streamlabs to Stream Elements earlier in the week. All those animation timings and everything have been screwed up. Well, now they should all be working. Okay? So everything should be working nicely here on the streams moving forward smoothly. I'm sure people will appreciate when they tip getting an on-screen thank you animation now, which has been out of the running for months and months, but now it's finally returning. Okay? However, I'm not going to have any messages on screen for tips simply because people who tip have been using code words in order to make sure that I know that it's really them who's tipping. So I didn't want to have that put in jeopardy. I wanted that to still be a viable thing. So I'm not going to have messages be on screen for tips. I'll just read out your messages, okay? I'm actually considering having it so that no messages appear on screen, just the pop-up thank yous, and then I read your messages behind the scenes. I feel that would curtail a lot of the trolling, because a lot of people put trolling messages. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to totally make this change right away out of nowhere. I'm thinking about it, okay? I'm mulling it over. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much all I got to talk about when it comes to that. I think I should do some very brief plugs, and then I got some new gaming news to talk about. Some interesting things happened on my day off that I think are worth talking about. So, let's see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm an independent content creator. That means that I don't have any sponsorships, and I don't have any contracts to stream exclusively anywhere. Instead, because I am independent, I rely on your crowdfunding in order to make a living. It is your contributions during my live streams that allow me to continue to do what I love. I love my job. This is the best job I've ever had. Sharing my passion for video games on a daily basis is really what I enjoy. And I just want to say thank you for giving me that opportunity on a daily basis to keep doing what I love. All right? So all that being said, it is your crowdfunding that lets me keep doing it. All right? You could cheer, sub, or tip during a stream to help, support my efforts to keep doing this. And if you do that, I will give you a live shout out during the stream to show how much I'm appreciative of all your contributions and, supporting me here on the streams. All right? Some things about this. Number one, if you're a regular viewer and contributor, I want to protect you. I want to make sure that you're safe on the internet. And so I have some recommendations for you. You should not have the same Twitch name as a name that you use elsewhere. Your Twitch name should be different than things you use on social media and other accounts. That way no one can go to another place and harass you for things that happen on a stream. In addition, I strongly recommend you close your open direct messages here on Twitch. Open direct messages on Twitch are a gateway for people to harass you. Frequently I get people who say, oh man, I tipped or I did a cheer, and immediately these idiots started flooding my DMs with trollish messages. Yes, they will do that. They're assholes. So I recommend you close them off. I personally have it so that only people on my friends list can send me a direct message on Twitch. Okay? Fair enough. In addition, if you are going to tip me, a couple quick things about tipping me, because, by the way, we do have tips goals on the stream. If you raise $50 in tips, I'll put on a Gunner glasses. If you raise $100 in tips, you guys will get to choose a vest for me to wear. And, of course, it's the first day of a new streaming week, so we get a reset here. It'll be beige, blue, red, platinum, and camo vests, all available for me to wear during today's stream if we hit the tips goal. All right? And I do appreciate if we do. Tipping me helps me a bunch, so please consider it if you would like to help out. All right? Now, if you're going to tip me, number one, please get a verified PayPal account. I can't emphasize to you how important it is at this point. Reason being, just recently, I have people who are trying to support the streams, but their tips are unverified. So I don't know if it's really them or not. I don't know if it's trustworthy or not. When I get an unverified tip, essentially that person can at any time try to screw me over by committing fraud, chargeback. And that happened so often back in the fall. Excuse me, that behind the scenes I was getting so much bad trollish activity against me, it really hurt me significantly. And I had to institute all these changes a couple months ago to try to prevent this from happening moving forward. So having a verified PayPal account links your real life information to your PayPal, which means you're not going to commit fraud because you don't want to have you don't want to be legally liable for it. You know what I mean? So please do so if you're a true supporter. Please verify your PayPal account. Just 2 days ago, we had someone who wanted to support me on a Fall Guys stream. Okay? Didn't verify their account. I didn't know their tip was real. I asked in the stream chat, are you really here? They didn't answer. So I refund the tip, block the person from tipping thinking this is a troll, and then they responded 5 minutes later, oh, I'm here, that was legit. Well, that's not good. That was a waste of my time. Now, the tip's been refunded, you're blocked, and now I have to go through a bunch of steps to get you unblocked. You see what I mean? Just getting your PayPal verified saves us a bunch of time and effort and lets me know I can trust your tips, okay? Now, another thing that you might want to do if you're going to tip regularly, create a code word that you can use in your tip message so I recognize you and I know it's really you. The reason I need to do that is because, sadly, there are people who impersonate others. There's people who come on here and are like, oh, I'm going to impersonate so-and-so who's a big tipper, so that Phil will think this is a real tip. Then I'll charge him back after the fact, you see? So if you're a regular and you're someone who tips and you make a code word and you use it every time you tip, now I recognize it and I know it's really you, and I don't have to question whether or not this is someone impersonating you or not. You see what I'm saying? So it helps. It helps tremendously. You might want to consider doing that, all right? All right, that's enough of that. Couple news stories to talk about. First of all, it is official, Sony is making a Ghost of Tsushima movie, which is very exciting. As we all know, Ghost of Tsushima was one of the best games of 2020. In my opinion, one of the best written stories I've seen in a long time. Had complex characters, very interesting, okay? However, what I'm really worried about this, what I'm really worried about, what I'm really wondering about this is a couple things. First of all, how on earth are they going to fit the story of Ghost of Tsushima into a movie? That game was long, right? That game was like super duper long. Even if you just do the story elements of the game, that game is like 20 hours long, right? If you just rush through the story. So how are they going to make a movie about that in such a abridged version? I get a feeling, sadly, what's going to happen is you're going to have a movie that's only about Jin and his uncle. You're not going to have any of the fun side characters that made that game feel realistic and robust and interesting. If you just did the streamlined story of Jin, it's still good, but it really was a lot of the side characters that joined him on the journey that made the game feel unique and interesting. And that makes me nervous that if they try to rush a movie out like this, it ain't going to be very good at all. And I mean, just think about it. Think about the other video game movies that have tried to do that and failed, right? I hate to say it. Assassin's Creed, right? That movie is nothing like the fun plot of the original Assassin's Creed games. They had to change and abridge and just cram so much in that the movie is basically not like the games, you know? So that's what makes me nervous about this is you want to make a movie out of a giant, amazing, epic story of a game. Great, but how are you going to pull it off? So that makes me a little nervous. Also, there's all this talking about who should be cast as the main character, Jin. How about the guy who fucking did the character in the game? I hate to say it, but in modern games now, these voice actors / mocap artists are doing more work than actual actors. They probably are having more hours in a studio doing all this work than a fucking person who's being filmed for a major motion picture. So why aren't they being treated with that kind of respect? Because they're funny. They're like, oh, who should be cast as the main character, Jin? What about the guy who plays him in the game who did an insanely outstanding job? Why the fuck wouldn't you just cast the same guy because he did such a good job in the game? Right? Now people are like, what about Idris Elba and Tom Cruise? Yes. I mean, Tom Cruise already played The Last Samurai. It's just a, just a shoe-in here that he should be doing this as well. We all know that, right? But my point is, we already have great people doing the roles in the games now. We don't need to now recast. It should be, in my opinion, the only way this movie would be legit, they gotta cast the fucking guy from the game. I don't know his name, but he was outstanding. He did a great job, and he deserves the work, and he should be the actor, period. I don't give a shit what some dumb fuck director at Sony thinks. And by the way, I say dumb fuck director, I think the guy is the guy who directed the John Wick movie, so he's not a dumb fuck. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to turn some artsy-fartsy twist on it. Jin will be played by Scarlett Johansson, who culturally appropriates all her roles. Yes. Very nice. Sounds good. Why not? So, anyway. But I feel that the work that these people do in video games is enough. It's worthy of being an actor. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're doing so much mocap and everything that you can't even say that they're not actors. They are. Sure, they're voice actors, but they're doing so much mocap. They're real actors now. So there you go. Now, in addition, a few other things happened. Bound for Blood. Wait, Bound for Blood? Back for Blood. I got the wrong name. Back for Blood. The game being made by Turtle Rock Studios, the person who originally made Left 4 Dead 1 and 2, has been delayed. They've decided that the premise is bad. They're going to completely redo the game. No more zombies. They're going to take all the zombies out of the game, and it's going to become something different. They say that zombies now are played out. What they're doing, they're pulling a Fortnite. Remember, Fortnite originally was supposed to be a tower defense game against zombies? And then they realized, hey, if we just jump on all the bandwagons out there and we copy what everyone else did with Battle Royale, we'll become filthy rich. And they did. Children played the game in droves. Millions of children around the world were lured by content creators dyeing their hair and acting like cartoon characters. And now Fortnite became the most profitable game in many years because it preyed on children. So, Back for Blood, they're going to do the same thing. What they're going to do, they're going to change no more zombies. Instead, it's just going to be the cast of Sesame Street running around doing stuff. Alright, maybe that's not true, but the truth is they are delaying the game. Now, I had not seen any footage of it, nor had I played anything of it. But apparently there was some kind of an invite-only beta that was released, and a bunch of people played it in the last week, and apparently everyone's feedback was this game sucks. Which is unfortunate, because that's crazy. Like, the original Left 4 Dead games were outstanding. So I don't know what is up with this game that people are saying it stunk. That's unfortunate. I was hoping that it would, if it was just literally the same games as Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 with some tweaks and twists, I feel like it would be outstanding. So I don't know what was bad about the game. But what's funny to me is I just went through a schedule of games coming out in the next few months. I just did this on stream the other day, and within 2 or 3 days, one of the games gets majorly delayed. So the game is delayed until wow, I'm an idiot. The game is delayed until October, which kind of makes sense. Released a zombie survival game during Halloween month. It might get some more extra traction and extra sales just on that premise. So that's kind of a smart move, I feel. And let's face it, I don't think there's no rush to get this game out. You know what I mean? Like, we've waited a decade since Left 4 Dead 2. So there's no real rush to get this out right now. It's okay. They can take more time. I feel they can take as much time as they want, honestly. As long as the game ends up being outstanding and fun when it comes out. That's all I care about. So I do hope that it is good when it comes out. I hope that it's not disappointing. Like people were saying about this exclusive closed beta event or whatever it was. So it's coming out in October. Okay? The only other news this morning. James Gunn, the director of... Why am I having a brain fart? Guardians of the Galaxy. The director of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 has put out a trailer for The Suicide Squad. Not Suicide Squad, that movie from 2016, but The Suicide Squad. It's very different. 5 years changes a lot. Particularly in this case, the cast, the characters, except for some reason, one character that's completely returning from the first movie, which makes no sense, because it's not supposed to be the same people, but apparently it is. I'm so confused by this. Alright, first of all, the original Suicide Squad sucked ass. If you didn't see it 5 years ago, it was terrible. I saw it. It was one of the worst fucking movies. It was so boring. The only thing interesting in that movie was Will Smith and his interaction with a couple other characters. Like, basically his acting saves the movie, like, makes it at least somewhat entertaining. But the plot is so bad and so crappy. And the ending is so shitty. Like, it's just shit. It's like they had this idea of this crazy cast of characters of DC, and they just ruined it. Terrible. Absolutely terrible plot. The movie stinks. I hate that movie. I was like cringing the whole movie, like how bad it was. Okay? Only Will Smith was good in that movie, I felt. Okay? So then they announced immediately, oh, we're making Birds of Prey, which is kind of a sequel to Suicide Squad, starring Harley Quinn and a bunch of female characters. Oh, now we're making another Suicide Squad movie. Wait a minute, what? The first movie was terrible. Everyone agrees. The first movie was terrible. It made some decent money. It didn't make great money. They were expecting it to be a giant blockbuster, and it wasn't. But, like, why did they all of a sudden go all in on this whole, like, Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn universe shit after the first movie sucked? It just confused the shit out of me. By the way, Birds of Prey also tanked. That movie also didn't do well at all. Way under expectations of what they were expecting. So, what confuses me is how they went all in on this. So why... Alright. In what reality do you have a first movie that was disappointing, a second movie that was disappointing, let's make a third one. Right? Now, I guess what it is they're banking on James Gunn being the dynamo director behind Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. Giant money makers for Marvel, and admittedly those are the movies that took the Marvel Cinematic Universe into a comedy direction, and when it took it into a comedy direction, it basically made it more, how can I say, like more widespread approval. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's some people are going there just for the pure comic book stuff, but then other people were opened up their eyes. Oh, these movies are good now, they're funny writing and stuff, you know? So basically it was like more mainstream appeal. Okay. So, all that being said, I'm curious, and it's like, what is going on with this new movie? New cast, yeah, Harley Quinn is back, same actress. Like, what? Why? It doesn't make sense. Like, I thought this is a different, it's supposed to be like a reboot. And plus, they just did it. The thing that always gets me is like, they just did this. They just did Suicide Squad 5 years ago, right? So why are they doing it again? It's like, oh, the first one wasn't good enough. Do it again with a different director. But it's fucking... Why? You know what I mean? Like, this would be like you did a major Batman, and the Batman movie's terrible tanks. Make another Batman movie right away. What? Why? It's so confusing to me. So anyway, this new one has John Cena. This new one has Idris Elba. I guess it's got some guy from SNL. I never heard of him. And it's got another actor in it. Notable actor. I can't remember. So anyway, it's got all these different actors in it. And it looks like the casting is outstanding. And then the trailer came out this morning, and I watched the trailer. And I'm like, So, they're walking on a beach, and John Cena's character says, like, if this beach were covered in dicks, and I was told that I had to, like, clean the beach for justice or something, or I don't know, I would eat all the dicks, something like that. And then someone's like, why would the beach be covered in penises? And he says, you don't know what supervillains do. You don't know their reasoning. So I'm listening to them like, what? Like, what? Is that supposed to be funny? Like, immediately when they make this joke, I'm like, this is like Dane Cook comedy from like 20 years ago. Anyone remember Dane Cook? A lot of people probably don't even remember him. But he would just say stupid shit that would get your attention. Like, one of his jokes was this. I swear to God, this is one of his jokes from his stand-up. He goes, so the other day, I was driving around, you know, like, you know, some guy cuts me off or whatever. So I flipped him off, and he rolled down his window, and he yelled to me, hey, man, go suck on a bag of dicks. And I said, a bag of dicks? Like, how does this work? Do you carry around a bag of severed dicks with you all the time, and you hand it to someone? So this is his joke. I mean, it wasn't very funny back then. Now, it's like the same joke. Why would there be a bunch of dicks on the beach, and why would you eat them all, or whatever? Oh, wait, that was Louis C.K.? If it was that was Louis C.K., so it's such a crappy joke that I got confused Dane Cook and Louis C.K. There you go. I actually got it, like, confused. Because it's such a stupid thing, you know? So anyway, that's what I mean, like, this stupid shit is going on in the movie. I'm like, this is the level of writing of this movie? Like, Guardians of the Galaxy has stupid shit in it, don't get me wrong. But this just seems like, at least if that's what they're selecting to put in the trailer, this seems like this may be the ultimate try-hard movie. Like, they're really trying hard. Really trying hard to fucking put edgy humor in. Like, John Cena, the cookie cutter wrestler, who was a goody two-shoes on WWE TV, now makes jokes about eating dicks. Wow. That's your favorite superhero movie, huh? You know, like, what? I don't know. You know, there was a few other things in it that were questionable, like seeing a giant mutant shark eating a human. Looked really stupid. But it won't necessarily be that bad. You do have a great cast this time around, which is really good. Like, the casting seems really good. And it could just be one of these situations where the trailer isn't representative of the whole. This happens a lot in Hollywood. They think some clever guy in marketing says, I know, we'll take that dick joke that no one's suspecting will be in the movie because John Cena says it, and we'll put it in the trailer. That'll get butts in seats. Like, wait, no, actually, that joke might have worked if it was in the context of the movie. But taking it out of the context of the movie and throwing it into the trailer, it's just weird. Seriously. So, I don't know. It just kind of confuses me. But maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't. For me, though, I really have to ask the question. Who is asking for Suicide Squad so much? Like, when the first movie came out, I wasn't aware that there was a clamoring for the Suicide Squad. And now, 5 years later, they're making another movie already. It's like, why? Why are they rushing this out? Why? The last movie didn't do well. So why are we rushing out another one? It's almost like DC was so upset, or whoever is in charge of that studio, who's it, WB? They were so upset that the first Suicide Squad movie didn't do good, that they're like, we got to immediately do a do-over and pump it out with even bigger stars and a better director. We got to do it right over, right? I don't know. It just doesn't seem good to me. I could be completely wrong. Oh, stretch. I could be completely wrong. It just doesn't seem very good to me. Okay. It is so... Fihu says, is it a salty run back of movies? Yeah. It's the ultimate salty run back. So upset that the first one didn't do good like they planned, they immediately had to go make another one. Okay. All right. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, that's all I really got this morning. Excuse me. Still got my allergies acting up here. Gunked up a little bit. It's not as bad as it was the other day. Still a little annoying, though, so apologies in advance for that. Let's just do some shout-outs for your contributions. And then get started here. Of course, I'm going to take a break to use the bathroom and everything. So, Lurking Legend. Subscribed overnight. Thank you, Lurking Legend, for the subscription overnight. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Snow Carl cheers and says, you made it through tax and other issues and are doing good again. Are you planning a vacation with Kat soon now that restrictions are lifting? No. Number one, most places aren't even allowing you to do major travel unless you've had a vaccine, which we haven't. Now, for what I'm to understand, here in the state of Washington, we're supposed to have open vaccinations starting in May. The month of May, apparently, they're saying everyone is eligible to get vaccinations now. Everybody. However, this makes no sense because people who are currently eligible for vaccinations are already having issues trying to get vaccinated. People are reporting 3 weeks to a month wait. That right now, with only limited eligibility, people, like, I think right now at this point, it's still all the elderly people, people who are at risk because of other pre-existing conditions, certain frontline workers like healthcare workers and certain workers who work in grocery stores. Not all of them, but certain ones are eligible, and then all will be eligible very soon, as well as teachers. Like, those are the ones in our state that are currently eligible, okay? Now, they're already being told, when you go to schedule your vaccine, 3 weeks to a month wait. So think about that. Now, what percentage of the population is this in Washington? Like 20%? Maybe? 30%? Maybe? Pushing it? So all of a sudden on May 1st, They're just going to open the floodgates and say everyone can register and get a vaccine. What are the chances you think anyone's going to be able to get one? What's going to happen is an insane bottleneck. All of a sudden, everyone's going to go to get it at once, and the websites are going to crash. The systems aren't going to work. It's going to be a nightmare. It's the dumbest rollout ever. You can't logistically force this like this. But the people in charge apparently aren't very smart. I just don't even know how else to explain it. How could you not understand that you can't bottleneck like that and expect that the system's going to work? I predict everything's going to break down in May, and no one's going to be able to get a vaccine until they fix the system, because they're going to break it. You're going to have way too much capacity. Okay? Now, I will. Once May hits, absolutely, I'm going to try to get it. I want this vaccine as soon as possible. And if my wife has not already gotten it by then, I'm sure she's going to be trying to get it along with me. And hopefully we can get it as soon as possible. But yeah, a lot of places are reporting if you don't have evidence of a vaccine, they won't even let you in. Which is pretty crazy when you think about it. Now, I'm not talking stores. I'm talking like, vacation resorts, major events where people gather en masse. They're making you prove you're vaccinated. Okay? So, number one, there's absolutely no way I would do that regardless. Okay? I wouldn't be able to. I would basically be shut down likely until I get the vaccine. I wouldn't want to be traveling until I'm vaccinated. It'd be pretty stupid for me to do that. Number two, no, just because I paid my tax guy doesn't mean that now everything's, roses and rainbows. I got a lot more stuff coming up. I basically have prepaid for some of the tax work, so he'll do it, but I still have to pay him over the course of several months. I have to pay him the rest of what I owe. In the month of April, I have a giant state tax bill that I have to pay. It's quarterly. So January was the first one. Now I got to do that again in April. And I'm hoping it's not going to be nearly as big this time. I hope. So I got all that coming up. That's called adult life. If you're not aware, when you're an adult, it never ends. You always have another bill coming. You always have another thing coming. You never really get to the end of the tunnel where it's like, oh, everything's fine now. Maybe in a few years when things like my car is completely paid off, when they finally foreclose on my condo, which I found out, I have a feeling I know why they never foreclosed on my condo in Connecticut, because the value's going up. Because of all this that happened with the pandemic, no one wants to live in New York anymore, New York City. So because of that, all surrounding areas, all the property values have gone up. So to give you some example here, 2 years ago, I started the bankruptcy process. Well, I take it back, it was about a year and a half ago. I started the bankruptcy process, and at that time, I stopped paying on that condo in Connecticut, and I basically, during the bankruptcy last year, said I relinquished this condo to a mortgage company. They can foreclose on it. So I have no legal right to that condo anymore. I relinquished it during the bankruptcy, okay? Come to find out, guess what's going on in Connecticut? Real estate values are going up. So it was worth around $68,000 about 2 years ago. Guess what it's worth today? $99,000. Yeah. So what's happening is because real estate values are going up, these people are sitting on it and not foreclosing on it. They legally can foreclose on it whenever they want. They've gone through all the court proceedings to do it, but they're purposely not doing it because I think they want to wait for the value to go even further up so they can sell it and make a profit rather than sell it at a loss. I think they actually want to sell it and make a profit. So they're basically kind of screwing me, because every month that they wait, I have to pay over $400 in condo dues to this condo association, because they're holding their feet here, or dragging their feet, because they want to make money on the sale. See? So I'm kind of screwed in this regard. When I went through the whole bankruptcy proceeding, I was essentially told by my bankruptcy attorney they have the right to do this. Like she's had horror stories where banks have waited 5 years to fully foreclose on a property so they can make money. And that might happen to me, especially with the property values going up in Connecticut. They might wait all year. They could wait till next year. They could literally wait indefinitely to foreclose on this thing. Why is my HOA fee $400? Your guess is as good as mine, Ford Camaro. I pay more condo fees on that shitty condo in Connecticut than I do at my house here in Washington. I'm not kidding you. That's how, it's a piece of shit little place. They don't do anything either. With that money, they do nothing. They don't do maintenance. They don't do anything. That place is a shithole compared to here. Here is like fucking heaven. Seriously. They do nothing with that money. They just take the money and pocket it. They don't do anything with it. Yet, I'm paying more money for condo fees for this shitty place in Connecticut than I am here. Why did I buy it? I think I've explained this a million times, Snow Carl. Why are you derailing my pre-stream? How many times did I explain that over a decade ago, I wanted to move somewhere close to my job? At that point, I thought that job was going to be a career for me. I thought that moving closer to it made sense, so that way I could commute more easily. I could be the go-to guy that could depend on, who would go to work when no one else could make it because of inclement weather. Like, I explained all this a million times. So, shut up. Why are we going back a decade? Like, seriously. Is it question after question? That fucking 20-question pre-stream. Jesus Christ. So, anyway. That being said, there's really no way right now that I could do anything like that. Right now, because of COVID still, because of other things coming up, financial things this year, and by the way, I've already told you guys that this year, when I have finally can afford it, which still doesn't look like anytime soon, I got to get a new laptop, I got to get a new chair. Like, these are essential things that must happen this year. There must be some upgrades to my setup. I can't keep operating with half-functional equipment. This laptop is going to die one day. It's just going to go and not turn on. It's that old. It's running like molasses. Okay? So, you got to understand this is more important than running out to go on a vacation somewhere. Especially because now, you know, Kat's in a new job, or let me put this, new position at her job, a new, new hours and everything, and, got to get settled into that. We don't even have a steady schedule yet of what she's doing at her new place, her new job. So how can we even plan on doing anything until things are more steady, right? So the answer is no, we're not planning on doing any travel or anything anytime soon. We would love to, by the way. We would absolutely love to. We didn't have a honeymoon when we got married almost 2 years ago now. We didn't get to do anything for our anniversary last year because of COVID. So it would be nice eventually to be able to do something. But right now it's just not in the cards. Okay? Stealth and Shadows resubscribed for 8 months. So thanks for 8 months of content. Hopefully we'll be able to hit the tier 3 sub goal. Perhaps. We shall see. Knows Nobody did 100-bit cheers. Happy Friday. Welcome back. Thank you, Knows Nobody. Yeah, I know it's weird for me to have my first streaming day of the week on a Friday, for sure. But we roll with the punches, right? We roll with the punches. One of the best things about my job is my adaptability. I can make my own schedule. I can adapt on the fly, and, it's worked out well. So, thank you. Snowcrawl Cheered says, do you agree with all the directors and actors like Scorsese that comic book movies are dog shit children's movies aimed at the lowest common denominator? Excuse me. Holy shit. Oh my god, I can't stop burping. It's disgusting. I'm very sorry. Am I... What do I agree with that? No. I do think that some of these comic book movies are great. I also agree that some of these comic book movies are not super intellectual. Alright? Some of them are better than others. They're all different. I mean, there's so many of them now. It's hard. You can't really put them all into the same bag. You know what I mean? You've got more lighthearted ones that are comedy family friendly. You've got ones that are very adult oriented. You've got ones that are darker. You've got ones that have this ongoing plot line while others are kind of one-offs. It's very hard to categorize all these comic book movies as one thing. It really is. And I feel that when you get like Scorsese, he's salty, man. Scorsese is salty because, there was a time when there would be these guys, these big directors who were all synonymous with great cinema, right? And now you take a look at the people that are, like I just mentioned, James Gunn. People right now in Hollywood, the name James Gunn is like the highest possible rating. The guy brought in tons of money for the Marvel movies and now for Disney. And now, you know what I mean? Like, or who's the other one? Jon Favreau, who originally was an actor and became a director, and now he's done so many big movies for Disney, right? These guys are the new big league Hollywood crew. And when you look at like a guy like Scorsese, he looks at that and he's pissed. Because he's like, man, this is different how it used to be. It used to be I had to do this, and these guys don't do that anymore. These guys, you know what I mean? Like, to make it in Hollywood, there was probably the unspoken checklist. You had to do this, you had to do this, you had to do this. And now he sees that these guys are making it big just on Disney movies and big on superhero movies. And he's pissed about it because that's not the Hollywood he knows. You see? So he's going to be very, very salty about it. I don't think that there's, are these superhero movies the best? No. They're not the best movies ever made. That doesn't make them dog shit either, You got to respect them for what they are. Obviously, they're popular for a reason. But, to hear someone like Scorsese say, oh, yeah, they all suck. It's like, dude, did you even see them? Sounds to me like you didn't even watch them. He's just talking out of his butt because he's angry because they're popular now and his stuff is, old school, right? Okay. Cookie Monster 414 resubscribed for 29 months. He says, quite frankly, I've grown completely tired of superhero movies and I wish they would all go away and fuck Disney. There you go. Thank you for the resub. DJ CTE resubscribed for 11 months. Says, what's the best overall Fallout game in your opinion? I haven't played them all. I've only played 3 in its expansions. New Vegas and its expansions, and 4 in its expansions. So, if you're talking refinement of gameplay and everything, 4 is the best because it was the more modern of all of them. But if you're talking narrative, man, I really liked the base story of Fallout New Vegas because it was this ongoing kind of mystery of like, who's Mr. House and who's really pulling the strings behind New Vegas. And there's all these warring factions. And depending on your choices, you could get completely different endings, right? You could end it by taking out Mr. House. You could end it by taking out that barbarian group. I forget their name. You know what I mean? Like, that's really well done. But at the same time, Fallout 3 was the one that kind of started it all for me. So it's very hard because I have nostalgic feelings about Fallout 3, despite the fact that if I go back and think about it, I don't think it's as good as Fallout New Vegas. It's a tough call, but I'm going to say New Vegas. There you go. Major Wright did a 50-bit cheers. How much money did you lose to Blazini Flow over the years? Blazini Flow, I think I only played him twice money match. I'm pretty sure I only played him twice in a money match, and he won both times. I have very, very poor history with money matches. Really. If you look at my actual competitive history, it's much better than my money match history. And by the way, it's mostly because my competitive history was focused on Super Turbo. While back then, I was playing games like Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2. And Marvel 2, I don't know. I would always do well. And then when it was like money match time, I would fucking choke every fucking time. Every time. It was embarrassing. Like, god damn it, why do I always lose money matches? Always. In Marvel 2. Marvel 2 was like the biggest, the biggest fuck up. But like I said, when I played Super Turbo, I did good. And by the way, at that point, when I was doing Super Turbo stuff, I really didn't do money matches anymore. I'd grown out of that shit. I was like, I don't do a money match. Instead, I just want to focus on trying to win a tournament or whatever. I didn't really care about money matches and shit like that anymore. But it was when I was younger that I was doing all these freaking money matches. So. Oddly enough, Cheers says, look here, look, listen. How much would it be to be a mod in your chat? A garbage mod timed me out? Well, let's see here. Hold on a second. So garbage mod timed you out, huh? Well, now I'm timing you out because you think it's funny to joke. You think that mod ship can be bought. It cannot. And you have just been timed out again for being an asshole. And if you do it again, I'll just ban you. How about that? So there you go. Anyway, some shout-outs for the top cheers of the week so far. Today's now Friday. See, it's so confusing. Today's Friday. So this means today, tomorrow, and Sunday, you can still cheer to get on the leaderboard to be a top cheer of the week, okay? Thank you to those who cheered this week so far. We got Major Riot in 10th place, Fihu in 9th, Vergatoto in 8th, Local Nomad is tied with Captain Div, tied with Easy for Stevie, and a triple tie for 5th. Good lord. Timbo Slice is in 4th. Mr. Hurdy Gurdy Man is in 3rd. Angelo Bestia is in 2nd. And Roosh is in 1st place. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you all for your support this week. Also, thank you to those who gifted subscriptions to the channel this week. Including Epic Gamer God, Danlo the Man Low, Mr. Hurdy Gurdy Man, OGX Focal, Hydrocarbon 1 and Germworm, King Cook, Chipe, and Nihilistic Goldfish. They each gifted a single sub. Diocletian 60 gifted 4 subscriptions to the channel. And by the way, I should shout out Only Iced Coffee. Gifted a ton. He's not on this leaderboard because I get the feeling that, stupid trolls harassing him. So I think he keeps like shutting down his account to avoid harassment. And every once in a while he comes back. So thank you to Only Iced Coffee for the support this week. He gifted a lot of subs to the channel this week. Okay. Or who knows? Maybe he changed his name. I don't know. Who knows what's going on there? Okay. So, Ugly Tuna Roll, first tipper of the day. He tipped me $1.30. He said, what do you think NYPD officers no longer protecting from civil lawsuits? I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. I don't know how it used to be. I don't know what changes have been made. You'd be asking me to make a comment on something I'm completely uneducated about. So I can't. Okay? Alright? Fair enough? Alright. Sorry. Jay Hawkwood cheered. He says, I used to be a bodyguard at a strip club. Girls would, instead of taking a shower, wipe themselves down with baby wipes after doing private dances. It's very exciting information. Thank you for sharing that. Timbo Slice Cheery says, our dumb governor here in Wisconsin signed a new bill into law today that allows places like bars to sell to-go drinks in a sealed cup. Wisconsin is already the worst state for DUIs and the biggest drinking state in the country. I can only see this going bad fast with DUIs and other issues. To-go drinks. What's weird is, so there's this restaurant that my wife and I sometimes order from. Not often, because it's a little bit more on the pricey side. But they actually, during the pandemic, they started doing delivery bottles of wine. So you can order a whole bottle of wine, and the DoorDash guy has to deliver it to your house. Like, that's kind of weird. Delivery liquor service? Shouldn't there be, like, something against that? I thought you had to go to the store to buy it because they need to have a liquor license, right? So how are they allowed to sell you a bottle of wine and have someone drive it to your house? I don't understand that. I thought that there was supposed to be, like, stuff against that. Very weird. But that's how it is. Like, when you go to their menu on DoorDash, there's all these bottles of wine. It's like, what? I thought this would be illegal. I don't know. That's confusing. But anyway, yeah, I would say to-go drinks in to-go cups is probably a bad idea. If you have people who are already irresponsible, and now they're going to be walking around the streets with liquor. I guess the question would be, the real question would be, is there still a law about public intoxication and, you know how they have the law, the carry law, where if they catch you carrying liquor in the open, it's illegal? But if it's sealed and you're not drinking it, then it's okay. It's some weird law. That's why when you go to a liquor store, they give you, like, some liquor stores, they give you the liquor in a paper bag because you're not allowed to just hold it outside. If you're just walking down the street drinking a beer, you get in trouble. Some states are like that. It's open container. Is that what it is? Open container law? So, would the to-go drinks in Wisconsin be considered an open container? And so you could sell the drink, but if someone sips the drink, they're breaking the law? I don't know. That's weird. I don't want to tackle that one. A lot of states are doing some weird shit. You got states that are passing laws to restrict voting rights. You got states that are doing the weirdest shit. I don't know what's going on right now. There's too much going on. I don't want to pay attention to the weirdness in other states around me. Seriously. Goth GF Girl Gamer resub for 2 months. Thank you very much for the resub. Jay Hawkwood says they now have Uber Eats for alcohol. They even have it on my favorite green plant. Oh, really? So, you know what it must be? It must depend on the state then. It must be state-to-state law. Some states allow it, some don't. That must be what it is. Like in Connecticut, they didn't allow shit. In Connecticut, they still made liquor stores close early. Liquor couldn't be sold after like 8 p.m. for the longest time. I think now it's changed. But for the longest time, like after 8 p.m., stores that sold liquor had to cover their liquor, or liquor stores had to close. They were told you can't sell liquor after 8 p.m. It's like, what? Why? If you drink liquor after 8 p.m., do you become a gremlin or something? Like, what are you talking about? This is the weirdest law state to state. It's so odd. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break. I'm going to use the restroom. When we come back, it's going to be Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection continuing. Lots of rage, lots of fail, I'm sure. But at the same time, hopefully we'll make progress. We'll get to the checkpoint today. All right. Fair enough. All right. I shall be back shortly, guys. Thank you so far. I'll see you in a bit.